Check it out, everybody. Come closer. I'm going to share a secret with you that's going to absolutely blow your mind. And this secret, when I share it with you, it's not only going to change your sales volume, change your business, but it's going to help you grow as a salesman. Now, you know when you share a secret, you're supposed to keep it a secret, right? In this case, when I share the secret with you, and you see that it works, I'm going to ask you to share my secret with other people. I want that secret known because it's going to help a lot of people. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the art of storytelling. The difference between a top-notch salesman or athlete or anyone that's in business is the way and how they tell the story. So I'm going to share with you the secret that I've been using for 30 plus years and what helps me become very consistent and successful in sales. The art of storytelling. I'm going to share with you, there's 3 parts to this. The first part is I'm going to define what storytelling really is in layman's term. Part 2 is going to be, or step 2 is going to be the 9 ingredients that you will need to develop to become a top-notch salesman versus an average salesman. And number 3 is I'm going to show you how to take those 9 ingredients and put it into a 3-step storytelling model that absolutely works. It's been working for me for over 30 years. As a matter of fact, the people in Hollywood use the same strategy. So, before we dig into the topic and I share my secret with you, hit the subscription button below if you're watching this on YouTube. Share your honest comments. And then do me a favor. Share this video with others because it's no longer your secret. Does that make sense? Now, follow me. So, what is storytelling? Storytelling is the most important ingredient through the whole sales process. And there's a difference between a phenomenal storyteller and just your average Joe Schmo. And if you look at the top salespeople in the world, the top entrepreneurs or business owners or athletes, they tell better stories than the average athlete or business professional or salesperson or entrepreneur. There's a lot of elements to storytelling, but I just want to explain to you in layman's terms what storytelling really is. Storytelling is about taking words or visuals and creating an emotion to the viewers or the listeners that they're engaged in it. That it's a two-way street. That they see some value in the story you're telling. That they feel part of the story. For me, I've been cold calling 30 years. I know that my words have to create power, have to create an emotion, have to be able to paint a picture so that they can see it over the phone, that they're engaged, they're involved. Because they have the most powerful thing, they could just hang up. So the art of storytelling, that's when 90% of the sales is really done. Because it's not what you say, it's how you tell the story. Whether it's through advertising, marketing, cold calling, doing seminars, one-on-one, it doesn't matter. The process is the same. The techniques are the same. But more importantly, your body language says a lot if you're doing a seminar or you're networking people, because your body language reveals a lot. You could be thinking something, wanting to speak something, but your body language is saying something else, and then people get turned off. You may not realize that. But you have to understand storytelling. But the bottom line is this. At the end of the story, the question is the listener satisfied? Is the viewer satisfied? And are they convinced about the story that they need to take action? Let me give you an example. I'm sure some of you have been to a movie where you get all excited in the beginning, but then as the movie goes on, there's nothing to it. There's no substance. You feel cheated. Like, my emotions, I was so emotional about watching this movie and I feel disappointed. Has that ever happened? Happens, right? Same thing when you speak to somebody over the phone. You get all excited about them, then you do a second time, and all of a sudden, I don't really like this person. Or you meet them and they're different than what they were speaking over the phone because you have a certain persona about them, right? So storytelling is phenomenal and it's very critical to becoming a top-notch salesman. And if you learn how to tell a story effectively with power, engagement, you're going to become a much better, valuable salesman, entrepreneur, and business owner. There's nothing like storytelling. So if you don't like hearing stories, I encourage you, don't watch movies, don't watch television, don't speak to anybody, don't listen to the radio, become a hermit. Because guess what? Every day we're engaged in a story, whether you like it or not. Now, follow me for part 2. Welcome to part 2. There's 9 ingredients that you need to develop to make yourself a top-notch salesman, but you got to do that consistently. When I used to read scripts for the movie industry, I read maybe almost 1,000 scripts. I would break it down to these 9 ingredients, and then I would estimate what the anticipated revenue are for the movie box videos and things like that. That was years ago. That was like in 2000, 2001. A lot has changed since then, but these ingredients do not change. Matter of fact, Hollywood uses these ingredients to produce movies. And I've been using these ingredients for a long time, and they do not get old. If you overlook these ingredients, it'll be the difference between being an average salesman and a top-notch salesperson. It really is. So the number one thing that every salesman, if you watch them, they're excited. You have to be excited about who you are, what you're selling, and why you're selling it. Because if you don't like something, and you can't get excited about it. So you got to be excited, because if you're excited, chances are the viewer or the listener will get excited in your excitement. Don't dismiss that. Number 2 is you got to be enthusiastic. You got to have enthusiasm. It's a type of emotion that if you know how to use it, it could be a very powerful tool, because it leads to passion. Now, passion is another topic, but passion is having a strong enough why you want to do something, and then the how will follow. But you got to be enthusiastic about selling. You got to be enthusiastic about telling a story. Now, here's the thing that you need to know about storytelling. You and I could have the same sales script, the same product, but I may be more successful at converting more leads into sales than you. Why? Not because of the script or the product, because we're saying the same script, selling the same product. It's how you tell the story. Because how you tell the story is what people buy into. Don't forget that. That's the big difference. And people overlook it. So you got to be enthusiastic. You got to be energetic. People love being around people that are energetic, that are excited, that have enthusiasm, because it's contagious. Whether it's visual or it's over the phone or in a network event, it doesn't matter. Those 3 things people are engaged to. But you can't fake it. You have to be genuinely excited about selling and about what you're offering, about what you do. Number 4 is you got to have conviction. Without conviction, game is over. You have to be convinced that what you're offering the listener or the viewer is for their benefit, not yours, theirs. They have to know and believe that you're convinced that you believe it, because they need to believe it. Try and persuade somebody to believe something that you don't really believe. There are people that do that. They sell you something they don't even own themselves. Does that make sense? How do you feel when somebody's selling you something they don't even buy it themselves, right? You feel cheated, right? So number 5 is you have to have persuasion. You got to be able to persuade people. I know people don't like to be persuaded. You don't like to be persuaded. But guess what? Wake up, smell the coffee. We're being persuaded every single day. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to learn that ingredient. You got to master the art of persuasion. No ifs, ands, or buts. Number 6, if you don't have the first 5, forget about number 6. Number 6 is confidence. You gain confidence through experience, going through the process of failing, going through the process of developing all of these other ingredients. And the customer knows, or the viewer knows, or the listener knows if you have confidence in what you're saying and doing, because they need to have confidence in you. See, everything you do is they need to believe in it too. That's the art of storytelling. That's where 90% of the sales are made. or lost. Number 7 is you have to be able to show value. Real value. Not hypothetical value, not fictitious value, but real value, because at the end, you are a customer, a listener, a viewer, just like I am, just like the other people we're trying to persuade, right? So they have to see the value in what you're saying, because at the end of the day, it's about them. It's about the listener. It's about the viewer. It's about the prospect, not you, even though it takes you to persuade them. Does that make sense? Number 8. The last 2, 8 and 9, do not happen unless the first 7 takes place. Number 8 is you have to get the listeners engaged in the story. They have to feel part of the story, part of the movie. They do. Why? Because then number 9 is get the customer, or get the listener, the viewer, the prospect to take the ultimate action. Selling is very simple. We try to make it complicated, so when we cannot have these ingredients, or some salespeople don't have these ingredients, guess what they go to? They go to lying, hyping things up, overselling, and underperforming. You don't need to do that. If you learn these 9 ingredients, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see your sales increase exponentially. You're going to start to see that you become more valuable, not only to your company, but to everyone you encounter, everyone you're around, because everybody loves to hear stories. Don't forget that. Now, follow me for part 3. Welcome to part 3. Now, in part 3, we're going to take part 1 and 2, and we're going to put it into 3 steps so that you could be consistent in converting more leads into sales, more prospects into customers, and closing more deals. Now, these 3 steps, the movie industry uses them. I used to use that when I produced movies and broke down scripts. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the story. So, number 1 in part 3 is what I call the opening of the story. Whether you're cold calling, you're doing a video, you're texting, you're emailing, however you're telling your story, this technique still applies. Now, you can't get to part 2 unless you get through part 1. Because in the opening of the storytelling, you have to be able to convey right away. You got to have a hook to get people to listen to you, right? Like the movie industry, they do a little video or a clip, a trailer to get you to go to the movie theaters, right? This is no different, whether it's text message, emailing, or cold calling. But the opening is you have to be able to convey right away that you have a perceived value. They have to be able to trust and believe you. You have to earn that to get them to get to second step. So the opening is the hook, it's the engagement, it's the perceived value. The second one, what I call the body of the storytelling. This is where all of the elements come in. All of the part of the storytelling, the facts, the figures, the emotions, the excitement, all of that comes in there. Now part 2 is you actually, from part 1, from the opening of the storytelling to the body of the story, hopefully you have increased your value at that point. Now you're getting the customer engaged. Your 90% of the selling is already happening within the body of the storytelling. This is where you actually earn your pay. And that's how Hollywood does it. They put everything is in the middle. It gets you the ahs, the ahs emotions. Gets you excited, gets you crying, gets you emotionally, gets you angry or mad. It doesn't matter. The fact is that's what the body of the story is supposed to do. So your job is to be effective in all of those 9 ingredients so that number 3, which I call the ending of the story or the closing of the sale or the converting of the lead into a sale, it's number 3. That's where they realize you are valuable. I call it real value. That's where you really start to develop the win-win-win relationship. That's when you start to build a prospect to a customer, and a customer hopefully to a potential relationship, successful relationship, or what we call client. Because a customer's wants, a client is repeat business. Does that make sense? So it's the opening of the storytelling, the body of the storytelling, the ending or the closing of the storytelling. And how you close at the end is going to determine whether there's a sequel in your movie. What I mean by that, do they keep buying from you? Do they consistently buy your services? Do you consistently go watch the movie that the director directed or the movie producer produced? Does that make sense? That is storytelling in a nutshell. I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, this is my secret to you. Now, if you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel just by hitting the subscription button below. And also share your comments. Let me know your thoughts. And share the video with others. Till we speak again, I say goodbye. I want to thank you all for being part of the martial arts of selling. Till we speak again, have a very successful day. Bye for now.